ילדים בחופשה, ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות.
Hi everybody, Shana Tova. This is such a special day. We have a tefillah right before Rosh Hashanah. And I wanted to ask everybody out there, what does Rosh Hashanah mean to you? So we're going to open up the chat. What symbols, what thoughts, feelings, emotions, what does Rosh Hashanah mean to you? I'm going to take a look at what we see here. Time with family, apples and honey, new beginnings, honey cake. Oh yeah, there's definitely good foods for that connect to Rosh Hashanah. Community, oh look at this, blowing the shofar. Amazing. Brisket, me too, that's me too. Okay, all right, apples and honey. Okay, we're gonna close up the chat. And I wanted to share with you, when I think about Rosh Hashanah, I definitely think about spending time with family and blowing the shofar and eating apples and honey. And in my family, we put honey on our challah also. But one thing that I really think about is every single year when I was a little girl in New York, we would go to Tashlich at a pond near my friend's house. And not just my family, our whole community would gather together. And it was definitely fun and a social time, but it was also a time where we could reflect on the year and think about how our year went and the things that we kind of weren't so happy with, and we could get rid of those. But we also focus on the things that we did love. And a lot of that was being with our community. There was also almost every year someone fell in. So there was always that hope that that year was not your year. And you were, I never did, so don't worry. But when I came to Brandeis, I was so happy that our community continued this tradition and that we would walk all the way to the duck pond, or what does Mr. Yanish call it, the Frank Lloyd Wright Lagoon. And we would go together as a community and spend time together. And this year, we're not all together. Well, we're together on the screen, and some of our kindergartners are going to be together in person today. Yay, very exciting. But we are together in Tefillah, and we can start a new tradition and try to find a new way to do our Tashlich. So I'm really excited to experience this new special Tashlich with all of you. And even though it's a different way of doing it, the message and the feelings are the same, that this is a new year and we have so much to be grateful for and so much to look forward to, and definitely some things that we want to shalach or lishloach or tashlich, to send away. I'm looking at Meirav. I hope my Hebrew pronunciation is okay. Both Meiravs. And I'm just excited to share all of this with you. So Shana Tova, everybody. Lots of love. And I can't wait till we can do this again together in person.
Please join me in Modeh Ani. Now please join me in Matovu.
morning and Boker Tov, everybody. So, and Stephanie, thank you for that lovely introduction about the things that we remember and that we love about Rosh Hashanah and that come to our mind when we think about celebrating Rosh Hashanah. Now we're going to do some of what we call the hard work of Rosh Hashanah, which is to think about what are those things that we actually want to get rid of? What do we want to throw away? What do we want to enter the new year without? So I hope that you all have a piece of paper and a washable marker. If you do, hold them up so we can see them. All right. So we're gonna listen to Ari for a few minutes here. And what I'm gonna ask everybody to do is with the paper and with the pen, write down on the paper, or you could draw a picture if you want, of the thing or the things that you would like to get rid of this year. And once you've done that, hold it, and towards the end of Tefillah, we'll actually have a chance to put the papers in the water where they'll hopefully dissolve. All right?
Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu, Yein Banu Masi. Aseh Banu, Tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh Banu, Tzedaka v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu, Yein Banu Masi. Aseh Banu, Tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh Banu, Tzedaka v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu, Yein Banu Masi.
Hi, Brian Asmarin. My name is Tamar. I'm the Ima of Judah in second grade and Noah in first grade. And I'm here to talk to you about my Tashlich ritual growing up in Cape Town, South Africa. So on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, after services, the whole community would walk outside of shul, wander down to the beachfront, where the rabbi would lead us in the prayers for Tashlich. And then we would be standing with our family, and we would probably say a few more tefillot with our parents. We talk about what we wanted to throw away, and then we would empty out our pockets into the ocean. The adults would continue schmoozing for a little longer, and the kids would go and play in the playground, which is right by the beach. And then slowly, we'd make our way down back home for kiddush and for lunch. This year in San Francisco, my shul community is not meeting for Rosh Hashanah, which is very painful. So we're going to be taking our children by bike to Ocean Beach to do Tashlich there on first day Rosh Hashanah.
Please join me in Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Shalom, Brandeis Marin. I'm Rabbi Chai Levy from Congregation Netivot Shalom in Berkeley. And I used to be a rabbi at Congregation Kol Shofar in Marin, so some of you may know me. I want to talk about Tashlich. Tashlich is a ceremony, a ritual that we do on Rosh Hashanah. It means casting away. And it's a ritual traditionally of going to a body of water, such as the bay, and casting breadcrumbs into the bay to symbolize behaviors that we would like to get rid of, ways that we would like to be better in this new year. Nowadays, because we know it's not so great for the birds and the fish to eat our breadcrumbs, a more eco-friendly way to do tashlich is to throw pebbles, small rocks into the water. And for those that might not be going outside right now, you could always do this at home by casting something into water at home, like into a bowl of water. But the idea is you think about, what is it that I want to do differently this year? What is it that I want to let go of from this past year? So you might think for yourself, I want to be kinder to my friends. So I'm going to cast away the times that I was unkind to a friend, or I want to cast away the ways that I wasn't as respectful to my parents as I'd like to be, or I cast away the times that I judged someone harshly, or I cast away the ways that perhaps I didn't take care of our planet as much as I would like to. So you think about those things, and doing this act, the important thing is it gives you a ritual, an action to help you remember, how do I want to be the best person that I can be in this new year? I want to wish you Shana Tova and wish you a good and sweet, healthy new year.
Please rise for the bar food.
We're at one of our favorite places to do Tashlich. We're at Lake Anza in Tilden Park in Berkeley. So we often come here on the first afternoon of Rosh Hashanah. We've walked a little ways around the lake so that we could find a spot secluded just to ourselves. And this is our family Tashlich ritual.
We all tell each other what we're sorry for, and then we throw a piece of bread into the water to represent that sin.
I'm sorry for all the times I've lost my temper this year, and I vow to try to have more patience and be less reactive.
I'm sorry for sometimes being insensitive when I say things. I will try not to be.
I'm sorry for I'm sorry for being grumpy sometimes.
מי אל כמוך נושא עוון, ועובר על פשע, לשרת נחלתו, לא החזיק לעד אפו, כי חפץ חסד הוא. ישוב ירחמנו, ויכבוש עוונותינו, ותשליך במצולות ים כל חטאותם. תיתן אמת ליעקב, חסד לאברהם, אשר נשבעת לאבותינו מימי קדם.
Please join me in singing Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Hi, I'm Ben. One thing I'd like to throw out or let go of this year is all the hardships of quarantine. All the times I ran out of patience and took it out on my family. All the times I just really wanted to get out of the house and have a change of pace. I'd like to get rid of all those moments because life isn't normal right now, but it's not going to be like this forever. So we all just have to push through this pandemic so that life can go back to being semi-normal or even normal.
Please join me in singing Mi Chamocha.
Boker Tov. So here we are in the Pina Shel Ivrit. So the word Tashlich, looking at the word Tashlich is made of 3-letter roots. The roots are Shin, Lamed, and Kaf. And it means, like we've heard so nicely today, it means to toss or to throw away. Now, interestingly, the word for fallen leaves in Hebrew is shalechet, as you can see. Shin, shin, lamed, lamed, chaf, and chaf. What's the connection? Maybe shalechet leaves are things, the leaves that are going down after they've done their job. We don't need them anymore. Those fallen leaves are going to make room for new, fresh, green leaves that are going to grow later on. Just like when we do Tashlich, we're letting go of the things that maybe served us in the past. Maybe we've done them in the past. We may have needed them in the past, but we don't need them anymore. So we are letting them go. Another interesting thing about Tashlich is that it's one of the only rituals that is said in the command form. In Hebrew, there are 4 times. There's present, future, and past. But there's also command. And interestingly, Tashlich is in a command. It's like telling us, you have to let that go. Do not hold on to those things that don't serve you well. And sometimes we have a hard time letting go of things. This is why it's in the command form in Hebrew. Let go. Throw it away. You don't need it anymore.
All right, for Osei Shalom today, we're going to do a different tune by Alana Jagoda. Some of you might know it, but if you don't, that's okay. We'll play it again next week. Osei Shalom. Say shalom, Roma, Yaseh, 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 shalom, Yaseh, Yaseh, Yaseh.
Hi, I want to introduce my daughter. This is Hadas. She went to Brandeis too a while ago, and she's going to help today lead our wonderful shofar blowers, Zara and Jacob. So we're going to start with a blessing, and then we're going to hear Zara with the first שתי תקיעות, ואחרי זה ג'ייקוב. ברוך אתה, אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו לשמוע קול שופר. תקיעה. שברים. תרועה. תקיעה גדולה.
eyes and join me in Hatikva.
Morning. It's so good to see everybody. So we have a jar with water, and we have the notes that we wrote at the beginning of the Tefillah. I have two. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to read a blessing, a Tashlich blessing, and it's going to be on the screen. We're going to read it in Hebrew and in English. And only after the blessing, we're going to put it in the water. Are we good? Okay. אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי ואמותיי, סלח לכל חטאיי, ואשלך למצולות הים, ופזר לרוח הנישאת את כל מעשיי הרעים.
My God and God of my ancestors, forgive all my misdeeds and shortcomings. Throw away and scatter into the wind all my bad deeds.
אנא אלוהים, כמו הלחם הנמס במים, המס מלפניי, כמו עלי השלכת הנושרים בסתיו, אשר מעליי את הכאבים והכישלונות של השנה החולפת.
I ask of you, like bread dissolving in water, dissolve from in front of my eyes, like autumn leaves dropping in the fall. Remove from me all the pains and misfortunes of the past year.
כמו המים הזורמים והולכים, כמו ענפי העץ המלבלבים ועולים, תן בי את הכוח להתחדש בעולמך בכל יום תמיד.
Like water flowing and like trees that blossom, give me the power to renew myself in the world, every day, always.
וברוב רחמך, תן לי חיים ארוכים, חיים של שלום, חיים של טובה, חיים של ברכה, חיים של פרנסה טובה, חיים שאין בהם בושה וכלימה, חיים של אושר וכבוד לעבודתך, חיים שתהא בי אהבת תורה וכבוד למורשתי, חיים שתמלא כל משאלות ליבי לטובה, וזכרני לחיים מלך החפץ בכל החיים. ברוך אתה אדוני שומע תפילה.
And in our great mercy, grant me a long life, a life of peace and favor, a life of blessing and success, a life without shame, a life of abundance, a life filled with love of learning and honoring my heritage. Blessed are you, Adonai, who hears my prayer.
Hey, middle schoolers, where do you want to do Tashlich? Also, what do you think that you or society should throw away this year?
If I could go anywhere for Tashlich, I would want to go to a pond and throw breadcrumbs in the pond in order to get rid of the negativity from the past year and have a fresh start to the new year. And for society, I would want to get rid of discrimination or anything else that can have a negative impact on the world and other people.
I want to get rid of all the first assumptions in the world.
Today, I would do Tashlich next to the bay by my house. I would do it by thinking about all the things that I regret and have done wrong, and I'd take those things and I'd throw them in the water. What I want the society to do is the exact same thing, to think about all the things that they regret doing and throw those in the water for them.
Today, for Tashlich, I would probably go to the Pacific Ocean or the Bay Area to put bread in the water. I would do it the same way we always used to do it at Brandeis, by throwing bread or seeds into the water. And as a community, I would want to throw away any mistakes or things that we thought we did wrong this year.
I want to get rid of all the bullying in the world and throw it away.
I think that Tashlich could mean either burning or washing your sins away. I feel like it doesn't matter how you do it, but what your intention is and your feeling about doing it. You can do it with all the proper ways, but if you don't feel like you're doing it right, you're probably not. I think it doesn't matter what you throw away, but how you throw it away and what your intention was.
I honestly believe that we should just throw away these last few months. There has been so much bad stuff that's happened to us, and I feel like we should get that behind us and start this year on a high note once again.
Something I want our community to throw away is probably just making people feel bad about themselves for no reason, because I feel like a lot of people take their insecurities out on someone else.
I enjoy doing Tashlich, and I think that it's really important to have this one day a year where you can let go of all your mistakes from the past year and you can forgive yourself and others around you can forgive you. And it's really refreshing to get to start on a clean slate, and I think especially in these times where there's been so much this past year, we all kind of really need a refresh, and I think that Tashlich gives us that perfect opportunity.
Wow. Hi, everyone. Wishing you all Shana Tova. The ritual of Tashlich. Well, first of all, I just want to share that I could probably talk for the next hour for all of the thoughts that have been sort of generated as a result of this tefillah this morning. Don't worry, I won't. But I just want to thank everybody who participated, whether through pre-recorded offerings or live and in person. You've generated a lot for all of us to think about. And I just wanted to share one thing that has really, that really occurred to me today in this morning's tefillah, and it is about the nature of Tashlich as something that is both private and public. And, you know, each of us wrote down our own, you know, what do we want to cast off? And it's so beautiful to see it already starting to just melt off of the page. Maybe everybody could hold it up and just see how there it is. Everything that you wanted to let go of, it's letting go now. And so let's grant ourselves that private internal permission to let it go, because it's gone. It's gone. The water has already taken it away, and now it is for each of us to grant ourselves permission to believe that we can move beyond those things. And like Marav so beautifully shared, like the tree that sheds its leaves, we don't need that anymore. Maybe we needed it, but we don't need it now. And let us give ourselves that permission and belief that it is truly a new beginning. But there is also another aspect of this that is private, and that is that maybe some of us shared with others what we wrote down, but many of us didn't. I'm alone in a room. No one knows what I put on my paper. Nobody knows what I cast away. And that's very private. And yet we should all, as a community, as a class, as family, as people who are friends and in relationship with one another, shouldn't we all somehow feel from this point forward, hopefully feel the difference that having let this go, hopefully, even though you don't know what it was, my hope is that anyone who's in relationship with me and anyone who is in relationship with you will feel the difference, that something is just a little different, that maybe as we just heard the middle schoolers say, we're letting go of that insecurity that sometimes causes us to be unkind to others. We're letting go of those self-judgments or those reactions when we've just been a little impatient. And this act of Tashlich reminds us that we're imperfect, and that's hard, you know, especially for many in our community who strive to somehow be perfect or to show up fully all together. Right? I'm all together. I'm dressed well. I show up well. I'm smart. I show up. But the real truth is underneath, sometimes it's a struggle, and perfection is frankly beyond any of us. And so this Tashlich reminder serves as a reminder that we are imperfect. And yet it also reminds us that forgiveness and room to grow is available. And that leads me to the last thought that I want to share with each of you. And that is that even though this was private, I hope that you feel it in our relationships. But there is a public aspect to this. We all, in our families, in our friendships, in our relationships, and in our community, need to make space in our hearts for everyone in our community to try to right the wrongs. We need to believe in their tashlich, in one another's tashlich, that we have all and that we are all making an effort to bring a better version of ourselves. And if we as a community look at one another as stuck in the worst versions of ourselves or in our worst moments, then how do we as a community keep this from fully coming into realization? And so the Tashlich ritual is a full circle that starts in a very private space where I give myself permission to let go and to believe that I can walk away from those things that I don't need anymore. And frankly, I don't want in my life anymore. And it ends with us as a community, as a family, as friends, as people who are in relationship, who are going to give each other space and an opportunity for a new beginning, and an opportunity to not be defined or held back by our mistakes of last year. But in this new year, as we welcome in a new year, may we all be blessed by the forgiveness we grant ourselves, the space that we give ourselves and to one another to begin anew and to bring a better version of ourselves into everything that we do. Thank you all for being this incredible community and for allowing us all to come together in a meaningful yet redesigned Tashlich ritual. May it be a new year of better health for our planet, for ourselves, for our country, and may it be sweet and may it be good. Shana Tova.
בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות.